unspoken or just a person, all of that is the remaining except my own. With this I was thoughtful about why my practices should have a credibility, and I figured to arrive at the same answer, that all I do can be achieved just for so by all. With this I gained confusion. Magic itself seems to consist of either two possible rights, the ones who know and those that interpret while being correct. One I considered fools, because all they do, if even assumption would be correct, is use of something they could have never arrived at without the celestial help, either conjuring of angels or demons, and the others I value as lunatics, cause the demand of such ideas of sages and ascended sums is valid if in line of tradition that mostly are long forgotten, though they would be the ones needed to be labeled as real magicians, while the former are only by conjuring and evocation of spirits to grant a go using the abilities and magic of something else. This basically was my attitude towards practice of magic: find your own that works and perfect it, but that which is a meditation bringing forth a reliable value or result in words for someone to be read and repeat, always viewing the ones who practice elemental magic as those who are in understanding, but because of traditions and rites that are not, to my available knowledge, as true disciplines of the supernatural. This was until the simple idea was always assumed from and to be fundamental, and so for it a last truth that can be relied on, which is the idea of planes, meaning a collective construction of a basic law that arises by nothingness, but by that all it consists of has no common factor that binds it by each other except for give to rise that which constitutes for it, and so there is the basic law, with it being the abstracted as the constructed forcing itself to exist, while all this that this is its workings are in the observable, unlike a field that consists of its own meaning to force around its own appearance. I identified the following planes to rise from nothingness. 1. Forest, or better said wilderness, in German die Urkraft. 2. The withered, meaning the ash that is by that it ceases, meaning the Urgeist, this which is the transcendent aspect, the forcing idea of that which is the Urkraft, or the basic forthcoming force. Whispers, soulness, meaning the Verdem. When there is the arrival at thought, then it always has its own echo already in the negation, but still knowing of its own to exist. Cracks, intersections that are only by differ, meaning somewhere in all this idea that is in the spiritual of the inner self and the outer, is there something that in the interconnections is something like a cracks, meaning when intersections are overlapping and there is only the differ that separates the one nothingness from all nothingness that is. Spiral, all by ascension, meaning everything that is in reveling towards everything that could be or is nothingness. The look-through reflects by the unknown, meaning that which cannot be yet understood and thus has properties of nothingness. The look-throughout reflects the unknown, not by it, meaning it's basically the opposite to it, while the one reflects by the unknown, meaning that which still lies in the that which could be. This now reflects that which is that which it could not be, and from its idea of that property that it has the idea of nothingness. Faint lights fade by and bring forth, meaning that which only negates that property of nothingness by being its one extreme or not of it. Four lights, or lights that are this but are the fade, meaning something that would be this which is all that would rival against something, meaning fade by and bring forth, but has in itself only no aspect or emerges to the abyss, if you want to consider it that way. This individuals the four governs, meaning the supernatural, what's the veil or simulative aspects of, and the emerging, meaning everything that is in these cracks rivaled by its own, thus the aspectation of that there would is nothingness, or that nothingness appears. Now fountains, meaning spare lights, a second veil representing the veil itself, or all interaction from fields, meaning something that is not of these basic governments of reality in the inner and the outer. Translucent, meaning the veil upon or spiritual aspiration, meaning everything that is in there when something in itself would have the properties away from being nothingness and thus its own nothingness or being truth, meaning something that has rivaled. Now, guard, the veil manifesting or manifesting from a collective concern, meaning that there is in itself something that has properties of it and only these ones, meaning nothingness or is true. Now, this is all from that nothingness was and is by its dissolvement, or that is by its dissolvement. Now, with this emerges one of the following: either the realms, that which extends the plane, meaning is on its a higher manifest or a manifestation of it; rights, that which is not of it, but in knowing of all that nothingness has as properties or nothingness; prayer, the ascension by interacting with. This is just the process of as well something that has a spiral or interacts with the idea of a planes that are spiral. Now, ritual, in aspects the same channeled in use, meaning in respect the same channeled as used, or that which it is, the aspects of prayer in use, meaning ritual is basically something that utilizes every given sort of the same to cause something in a brighter spectrum of its own basic idea or basic formulating ground as nothingness.